Hey there, happy October. Marina Ormes here with your Astro Vibe for Saturday, October 1st. How are you all doing? I hope that the beginning of October is treating you well, and we've got some interesting energies today. Our theme is let's see. Our theme is truth or lies, which is more powerful. And there's the moon in Sagittarius, and like I talked about yesterday, the moon in Sagittarius has to do with how we make meaning, how we tell the story, what we understand about what has transpired, and then with that moon in Sagittarius today, it's also going through what we call a grand cross, which means that the moon is moving through some degrees of Sagittarius that also activate a Mars Neptune square, and Mercury retrograde, which is stationing direct tonight, late, it'll be after midnight. So technically it's tomorrow, but in the wee hours, depending on your time zone. So we've got the Mercury energy, the Mars energy, and the Neptune energy, with the moon activating these different qualities that all have to do with how we think about things. So let's break it down. The Neptune in Pisces is our slowest moving planet of the four involved in the Grand Cross. Neptune is about transcending the physical body, the physical limitations, structures, systems that we experience in our ordinary everyday reality, and how we transcend those to access bigger truths, bigger realities, which can be our ways that we connect with spirit. It can also be ways that we get lost in illusions or imagination or fantasy or delusions and lies. So lots of transcending is like a positive word. When we transcend, it means we break out of the confines of our ordinary everyday experience. But the other way of that happening is that it can take us into a realm that is not grounded, right? Not grounded in the things that contain us and give us structure and meaning to our lives. So themes around that are coming up with Neptune in Pisces, and then all four of the planets involved in this grand cross are in mutable signs. When you have a grand cross, there's usually a particular quality, cardinal, fixed, or mutable, which, if you're not if you're not up with all the technical terms, that's fine. But the mutable signs are activated in this grand cross. And so the second one is Mars in Gemini. And Gemini is the sign of information, of learning, of mental processes, and how we process information and go about gathering information. So how we ask questions and seek new knowledge. So Mars being in Gemini is about moving forward. It's about taking action, being proactive in educating ourselves. It's also about a battle for the narrative, right? Who's got the right information? Whose information should we listen to? What should we take seriously? What should we believe? So you can see we're kind of building on this theme here, and that's why I've chosen, the question about truth or lies, which is more powerful. So then the third planet in this grand cross is Mercury in Virgo, and Mercury's energy happens to be heightened on October 1st and heading into October 2nd, as we have the hours and the days around Mercury stationing direct. So Mercury's changing directions to move out of its retrograde time period and into its direct motion when it'll start moving forward. But when Mercury changes directions, it slows way down and just kind of hovers on a point before moving forward. And that's true of any time a planet is changing directions, which we call a station in astrology. So that anyway, while Mercury is slowing down in Virgo, it's bringing us sort of a heightened experience of Mercury, some themes of focus to Mercury's energy, which is also about communication, about words, about mental processes and how we seek information and how we communicate. So we're building on this theme, and then finally we have the fourth planet, which is the moon, moving into the fourth point of this grand cross, or imagine a square with planets at each corner. And so the moon is going to be passing through, as you know, it moves fairly quickly, but throughout the day it's going to be passing through this fourth corner of the square in Sagittarius, which is the sign of how we tell stories, how we understand things, how we make meaning. And so there you could see themes coming up in the news, in the headlines, about who's got the information, which story is the truth, what should we believe, the kind of this war of, or battle for the truth and to maintain control of the narrative. So again, this could be easily showing up in the collective. And who's going to win? Is the truth going to win, or are the lies going to win? And what are you, hitching your wagon to, that Sagittarian wagon that you're hitching to a star? What is that star all about? So we need to look more deeply at what it is we're putting our faith and trust in. Are we doing so consciously? Are we doing so with full awareness of what it is we're believing in and working for? And then, of course, that experience also happens for us personally, in the individual realm. So in your life, in your personal life, you might be having questions come up of, what are the thoughts that you have in your head? How do they support or not support the things that you know to be true, or the lies that you might tell yourself, or the internal dialogue that we have based on messages we've internalized from childhood, from traumatic experiences, from ways that we've learned to protect ourselves. So are those messages, are those thoughts that you've got in your head, are they serving you? Are they based in the truth, or are they based in something that is a lie, or has always been a lie, but felt like something that was important for you to hold on to? And an example I'm thinking of is like the belief when we have that we're not good enough. So who am I to step into, this thinking that I'm worthy, or at this level of whatever it is in your life that you're interested in, or where your creative energy might take you. My creative talents aren't equal or up to the task or as good as someone else's. So how those thoughts, that's a good example of how that might show up. And when you notice yourself listening, and unconsciously hitching your wagon to that belief, it's a good time to ask yourself, is that really true? Is it really serving me? Is that maybe that's a lie and that I've believed or unconsciously adhered to or run in my head as a message for a long time? So noticing those things for you, maybe it's not feeling good enough, but what is the belief, or what is the recurring thought that you have? And just noticing, journaling is a great way to get deeper into some of those unconscious thoughts you might be having. There's lots of ways of looking at that. But also another trick is, if you're not sure if something is the truth or if it's something to invest yourself in, invest your emotional energy into, feel into your body, you know, hold that thought in your mind and ask your body, is this something that's healthy for me? Is it serving me? Is it good? And notice what your body is telling you. Do you feel relaxed, happy, spacious, peaceful, or do you feel yourself contracting or feeling protective or tense, tightening? So starting to notice your body's signals around the messages that you have in your head, the messages that exist around you from other people, from things you read in the news, things you read on social media. You know, there's a great example of a place where lies can run rampant. So asking yourself, what power are you giving to the truth versus the lies? How much of your time and energy is going into what you know to be true versus what you know is at least questionable? So that's those are some deep thoughts for today. I'm super excited to bring you tomorrow my conversation with my friend and colleague Sherry Horn Hassan. The two of us came together and we had a conversation about an eclipse that is coming on the day of the election here, November 8th, our US midterm elections, which are, as we all know, a big deal this year. And having an eclipse on that day is just, okay, this, you know, these synchronicities that you can't even grasp why it is the way it is. But what the cosmos are telling us, the planets are telling us, is that this election is a big deal. We already knew that, so it just combines with what is unfolding in reality as we go forward. And Sherry and I talk in depth about the eclipse, what the eclipse chart looks like, what's going on with the United States and the Pluto return, some other things, Mars going retrograde, some other planets going direct, and an eclipse on October 25th. 2 weeks prior to the election day eclipse. Anyway, tons of stuff. And we focus on the theme of how women's involvement and women's rights highlight in this election and also in the astrological energy. So join me tomorrow. I'm super excited, and it's just an amazing conversation. I think you'll get a lot out of it. So I will see you then, and have a great Saturday. Bye for now.